Howdy, brothers and sisters out there in YouTube land. This here is Grateful Panic, and I've got another knife review for you today. And actually, it's not really a knife review because in my mind, I think if you're reviewing a knife, it's probably a newer knife. You're giving people, your opinion of what this knife's all about. It's something that a lot of people have never handled before, and this knife is a knife that probably 90% of the people in the knife community have handled at least once and probably have owned one or more. So in my mind, it's not a review. It's more of my impression of this knife. So without saying any more, let's get on to the what did I carry segment of the review or video. Not a review, my impression, just a video. My main utility blade for today was the GEC number 43 in Jigged Brazilian cherry wood, the beaver tail. And if I sound a little funny today, it's for two reasons. First off, I've had a little cold, so my throat is a little hoarse. And the other reason is I received a suggestion from a viewer, and I try to take every suggestion and comment from each viewer seriously. So I'm really working hard on this suggestion. So we'll see how it goes. So if I sound a little weird and things get a little, if the flow's a little off, it's because I'm trying something. So we'll see how it goes, everybody. My Swiss Army knife carry for today was my Victorinox camper in desert camo scales. My fixed blade carry for today was the Marbles large Skinner that I've been carrying since I got it, and still promising you guys there is going to be a full review coming up. I want to do some heavier cutting with this guy and just haven't got the opportunity to do it. So do not fret. There will be a full scale review video of this knife. And in my fifth pocket today, or what is officially known as the watch pocket, was the little Kershaw Cinder, which I have really come to love. That guy comes in handy like you would not believe. Sorry guys, I had to wet my whistle. I spend all day in a fairly hot environment at work, so I'm definitely thirsty when I get home. But that brings us down to the point where it's time to get down to the nitty gritty. The knife of the hour, the knife that we've all been waiting for, or at least the knife that I've been waiting for, the impression knife. And today I'm going to be giving my impression on a case knife. Case is one of my all-time favorite brands of knives. They can be a little iffy, in my opinion, on the quality at times, but for the most part, especially for the money you spend, you're going to get a good quality knife. And sometimes, to be honest with you, in my opinion, the money I've paid for some case knives, I've actually gotten way more than what I paid for it. And that's just my opinion. But today, it's going to be the Model 54 Trapper, and this is probably not going to focus because it's just going to be like that, and I need to upgrade my camera, give you guys better quality. But there you can kind of see it. It's the Model 54 Trapper. It's in CV. It's in amber jig bone. And let's take a look at this guy. And when, I wanted to do a review / my impression of this knife for a while, but I'm kind of I'm kind of biased when it comes to this pattern of knife, the Case Trapper, because this was, as I've said before, my the first knife I ever owned was a Case Trapper in brown jig bone and in CV. It was, I would hazard, if I had to hazard a guess, I would say it was probably a late 1960s, early 1970s model. My daddy gave it to me when I was 8 years old, and I carried that thing forever. I had it probably up until about 10 years ago, and it got lost in a move, like several of my knives have that mean a lot to me. But like I said, this is the Case Trapper in amber jig bone and CV blade steel. And we've got nickel silver bolsters, nickel silver end caps, nickel silver shield, got brass pins, brass liners, got steel back springs, and we've got two blades in CV or chrome vanadium steel, which is basically Case's carbon steel. And this guy is gonna corrode and patina way faster than the true sharp steel that Case has. And this guy, you're gonna have a closed length of 4 1/8 inches, and basically with both blades, give or take a 16th or a 32nd, you're gonna have the same length. So the fully open on both blades is right around 7 3/8 inches. The blade size, like full blade on both blades, is 3 1/4 inches, and the cutting edge on both blades is right at 3 inches. Let's get a little weight on this guy. In ounces, we are at 3.9 ounces, so it's fairly heavy for a slip joint knife, in my opinion. It's right around where some of your modern folders are gonna fall, right around 4 to 5 ounces. Grams, we're looking at 113 grams. So it's a pretty, hefty, sturdy knife. It's not overly heavy, in my opinion. I usually will throw this in a little belt sheath, and I really don't notice it until it's time to use it. And I'm not, walking around, oh wow, man, my pants are falling down because I've got this heavy knife on my belt. And, I always have a fixed blade on my belt too. So with I'm not noticing a huge weight on my belt with this and a fixed blade. So it's not overly heavy. It's just in my opinion, a good, sturdy working knife. And I am a huge fan. I wish they would church it up sometimes a little bit. And some of the clip points on some of my Case knives do have a nice swedge on the back. So I wish they would, fancy it up a little bit sometimes. But I love the clip point blade shape that Case does. I think they do a really good job of it. The cutting edge it normally comes sharp, but especially with both the CV and the True Sharp, they're fairly easy to sharpen. In my opinion, the CV is a lot easier to sharpen than the True Sharp. As far as edge retention, it is what it is. This isn't an S35BN. This isn't a S110V. This is basically a carbon steel. It's chrome vanadium. It's what a lot of your wrenches and stuff are made out of. So, you get what you get. And I'm always, been a huge fan of Case's Spay blade. It's just a nice utility blade. Worst comes to worst, I've been known to spread peanut butter with a Spay blade on a Case knife. I haven't had, any issues, just carrying this as my only knife, and I run into something where I'm like, unless it comes down to I need a screwdriver or a pair of pliers or something, I've never had any issues where I've been carrying a case trapper and I go to use my knife and I think to myself, dang, I wish I had another knife. This guy does the job. If you keep it sharp, keep it clean, it does the job. It's not going to let you down. I have had cases very rarely in the past. Matter of fact, I've only had one, and it was a large stockman in red jig bone, and I was opening the main blade and the back spring broke. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I wasn't misusing it. I just simply opened the blade and it got it right about here, and the back spring just snapped. But, and to be honest with you, that was probably 15 years ago, and I went through a little 6-month pouting period where I was ticked off at Case, and I was like, you guys make crappy knives. And matter of fact, when it happened, I got so just pouty about it, I threw it away and never sent it in and got it fixed or got a new one to replace it. And I got pouty about it for about 6 months and refused to buy a case. And one day I happened to be in a hardware store and I saw a case trapper, and I said, man, I need a knife. And that's what I immediately bought, was a case trapper. So I got over my little poutiness pretty quick. But I think that's gonna about do it, guys, because there's not really much I can say about this, other than this is my favorite knife, and a lot of it has to do with sentimental reasons. But when you get down to it, it's a good quality functioning knife. It's gonna do what you need it to do. You take care of it like you're supposed to take care of a knife, it's never gonna fail you. If you don't use it for purposes that it's not meant to be used for, it's not meant to pry open a paint can. It's not meant to hammer a nail into a 2x4. You have other tools for that. This is not going to let you down. This guy right here is, if you got it in your pocket and you need a knife and you got this, you're good to go. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And the person that made the suggestion, I'm sure you know who you are, and I appreciate the suggestion. And as a matter of fact, I knew it was an issue, but it's one of those things, well, if nobody mentions it, then it's not really an issue. But I knew I needed to work on it, and I appreciate you bringing it to light, and I will do my best to work on that issue. But I thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I sure enjoyed bringing you the video. But for now, this is Grateful Panic signing off. And always remember, guys, stay alert, stay alive, and hey, how about do something nice for somebody today? Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.